Good morning, beautiful people. Hello, everybody. Welcome for Monday morning chat. It was supposed to be Sunday morning chat. Hello, beautiful people. We're going to be talking about a lot of ugly out there. And today we're going to start it off by talking about the guy out in Australia. He's running a cult out in Australia, and he's using the same mechanisms that DAYBELL used. He tells them that they have been members of like this elite club of Christian people. He's done a lot of things. He keeps telling people that he's been married to them before. He tells them that he's Jesus and that he has exerted powers that Jesus has exerted. So there's a lot of things he has done that is just like DAYBELL. And he gets women very committed to him, just like DAYBELL. So I'm going to look up to see if I'm online. So pardon me for a minute. And how are you all doing today? I'm so glad you are here. And I'm sorry about the kayaking escapade that went all wrong yesterday. Yeah, here we go. Hi, Jen. Hi, Kat. Hi, Georgie. Hi, everybody. Yeah, there's supposedly a group in Australia right now. I think his last name is Williams. And I'll put the link to the video that someone had sent me. And it really is very much like DAYBELL's mode of operation. It seems like this guy, Williams, he claims he's Jesus, and he's buying up all kinds of land throughout the world using his followers' money. And he's using the same tactics that we have seen from DAYBELL as far as telling people that they have been someone else, either now or in their past lives. He really claims that he's Jesus. Right now, he claims he's married to Mary Magdalene, and she claims she is Mary Magdalene. Her family is really upset that he has taken a hold of her. They think she has gone mad. I mean, there's so many parallels to this guy in Australia. It was on one of those, I forget the name of that Australian program that is close to like Dateline or 48 Hours here, but it's one of those programs, and I'm going to link it when I'm done to my description so that you guys can go and hear the same kind of things that you're hearing that has existed in kind of DAYBELL's career, let's say, of having followers. I mean, you know, we kind of skirt around the issue. We skirt around it like, do we call him a cult leader or do we call him just a jerk? I mean, I think the general public hasn't decided. Do we call Lori Daybell a murderer of her children, or do we call her a cult member? I mean, I guess this is all up to debate, but from what I understand, Chad Daybell had a lot of followers in his area, and he was creating a lot of followers. He had the technique of visiting these people in their homes and being very, I guess, would be charming. He had a charming. Now, I can't see being charmed by Chad Daybell, but I haven't had the privilege or unprivilege of meeting him before this all happened. So I'm only saying that from what I've seen of him, I wouldn't like him. But would I have liked him before all of these murders came out to the news? If he had knocked on my door, would I have liked Chad Daybell? And would I have thought he was a really Christian man? Or would I be saying, wait a minute, this isn't Christianity? So that's what what's the name of it, Graham? Damn. I think it has his last name in it, Jen. It's a man, he has a what did they call it? What's the word? You guys tell me. What do they call it? Hi, DJ. Hi, Aucklancy. Hi, Mad Jack. Hi, Victix, everybody. Hey, what do they call it? Like a compound? He has a compound in Australia. Yes, Jenny's from Australia. That's probably why she's asking me. His last name is Williams, and he has a compound in Australia, and people have left their husbands. Women have left their husbands after following him, and they've gone to that compound. So he's breaking up families, kind of in the same light that Chad was breaking up families. Yeah, no, I just saw it. I've watched it a couple of times. I was looking for the link. Let me see, because if you hold still, I'll look up the link from. Oh, I can't go on my email. If I can't go on my email, because if I go on my email, then that means I can't see your chat either. So I can't do both. Yeah. So yes, you can look him up. Google Williams. It's a YouTube, and put in cult, and you will get him. I am sure. He seems rather jovial, and he gives teachings. He writes on the whiteboards, and he gives all these teachings about how destructive life can be. And he writes, and he teaches people how to expel the demons in them, or I guess the bad energy / spirits that have taken over in them. So he helps them to rid and extinguish these bad spirits. And it looks terrible when you see this kind of exorcism type thing that he does. I mean, the people look bizarre when they're going through it. Their bodies are shaking, and they're screaming, and they're jumping around. I mean, if you looked at it without the volume on, you would go, what the heck are they doing? He makes them think they have bad spirits in them. Oh, by the Perth side, Jen? Jen, do you know about the tall poppy? Do you know? I haven't watched. No, this wasn't TV. I saw it on YouTube. I will link it after my, I definitely will link it to the description of this video once I'm done. I just can't do both. Yeah. So isn't it incredulous that there's someone that simulates Chad Daybell's approaches to get these people to follow him? And this guy's much more affable than Chad. He seems like he has a very whimsical and jolly side to him. So it seems like you could attach to him a little bit easier than Chad's kind of stoic, secretive presence that he gives. So how is everyone doing? I was supposed to... Oh, I love that Fifth Estate. I love that Fifth Estate. That's a beautiful program. So what does everyone think? I'll attach that link. I won't forget. Once I'm off, I'll attach the link. Yeah, I'm going to ask you, what do you think of Mark Means objecting the letter from the LDS Church? Remember that letter I read to you at the beginning of the month? So like, what, 3 weeks ago or so, I read you a letter from the LDS Church asking their people to their members. It's not just to their higher ranking members, it's to their members in general as well. So all LDS people in the world got this letter telling them that they need to go through their office before they get in any witness situation with a civil or a criminal case. And remember, I came online about a month ago and said, I don't like that whitewashing. I was really upset when I got the letter. Well, someone just put it out there. One of the YouTubers, just to let you know, just put it out there that it was new. It's not new. It's been there for 3 weeks. It's been floating around the LDS members. So I just want to clarify that. That isn't an old letter that was touting some of their policies from their handbook. It's an old letter, and DJ knows about that letter because we've talked about that on the side. So that was weeks ago, not just a few days ago, as a YouTuber commented. Okay, sometimes these YouTubers, again, is it a mistake, or are they trying to say they're up on top of the new news? You know what I mean? It's crazy. But anyways, I take a glance at everybody because I want to see what corruption is in YouTube. And I'm still finding a lot. Yes, you remember me reading it. Yes. Well, thank you, Georgie. Yeah, it didn't just come out. My point is, that letter came out the first few days of August, either August 3rd or August 4th. I'd have to look it up. But it didn't come out 2 days ago, as a YouTuber described. So I don't know why they do that, why they make it like it's fresh news. Are they trying to say that they're giving you up-to-date news? Or I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Wow. It's difficult here for any crime sleuth. We don't have televised court or any public access to cases. We only hear stuff on the news. Oh, yeah. And Jenny, I'm going to say what I feel about YouTube right now. It's like one provider copies the other creator. We were supposed to come out as individual creators and report the news and kind of carve out our thoughts and opinions and help try to sort out where the crimes might lie. But now it's coming, one YouTuber takes the other YouTuber information and just keeps reporting on the same stuff. So I apologize for that. I apologize that we haven't gotten to a point that we're becoming mainstream media where we're taking someone's thoughts and using them as our own over and over. Yes, it was dated 8/4. It found itself in my hands hours after it was sent to all the Mormon leaders. Yes, and then you gave it to my eyes. Yes, maybe they will excuse me of hacking. I did work for Semantic and Dell. Kevin says Means wants to keep the case in his court and will try to separate Lori from being part of the church. That's going to be a hard job, Kevin. She's got so many people saying that she was so full of the LDS church. But of course, since she met Chad a few months before she started conspiring the murders, because it wasn't long. I mean, we gotta remember it wasn't long. She met Chad, and then she started to work on murders. So it's interesting, the time here, the time period from not knowing Chad to knowing Chad, and when she started talking about murdering. There's been a lot I'm going to share with this. I've gotten a lot of chats and comments in the last 48 hours that Charles was no good egg, that he was just as bad as Lori. Okay, I never knew Charles, so this is my only statement in regards to that. My statement is this exactly. We're all human beings. We all do things wrong. But what most of us don't do is murder for money. So Lori has put Charles in such a high esteem because Charles did not murder for money. Only Lori did. So they can try to damage Charles's reputation all they want, and I'll accept that he wasn't perfect. But what I won't let them do is make it like they were equal parties, because no, Charles didn't murder his family. No, Charles didn't murder his wife. Lori murdered her family, and Lori murdered her husband and her lover's wife, Tammy Daybell. So, hi, Melmac. Yes. Means will blame it all on Chad. The bus is running outside the jail where Chad stays. Oh my golly. Yeah. No one is perfect. That doesn't mean it's okay for anyone to go around murdering non-perfect people. And that's what they're doing. I don't know if you've caught wind of it, guys. I've caught wind of it because I read every one of my comments. There is a few people that are trying to change the narrative here, and they're trying to say, hey, Lori had met her match. Charles had met his match. So happy to be together, because they were just alike. I beg to differ. I beg to differ, because Charles did not annihilate his whole family. Only Lori did that. So there's no way that math will ever add up in my mind. So they can try with all their might. And this is exactly what happened during Chris Watts' murder investigation, and when they were going through the motions to start a trial. There was a lot of YouTubers going around, and I'm not going to name them, but they were taking the side of the Watts family and Chris Watts. They were saying Shanann was an abusive wife, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to smear her name any more than she has been. I mean, 3-4 days ago, it was the 2nd anniversary of her death and her 3 children. So I'm not going to smear Shanann's name, But they're using the same tactic that came into my site in the last 48 hours. And they have said that Charles was as wicked as Lori and he got what he deserved. Now, they don't come right out and say that murder was what he deserved. They do not, but that's what they allude to. It's alluding that they were meant for each other and they both got what they needed to get. She's going to be in jail and he's no longer here. So there's some people that think just because you don't do things in life right, that you deserve to die, you know? And so that's the mentality. And I think it's going to be the Mark Means and Lori Vallow, Daybell, Cox campaign. I think this is just starting up. So watch for this. Guys, I'm not taking lightly of this. Yes, there are so many defending Melanie. Melanie, I can see that. I can see that they're defending Melanie. There's a reason behind it. They don't want her reputation to be, marred in the public because she's going to be one of the key witnesses for the prosecution. And so I can understand why people would gravitate to back Melanie up. But what I don't understand is why they would gravitate to back Lori up or Chad. There's no way in my mind that can synthesize all of the information that I have received in the last 8 months or so and say, yes, we should be somewhat supportive of these people. There's just no way. But yes, please be aware, and I'm going to say this many times, please be aware that there are campaigns going on. They're very small. They don't have big numbers yet, but they can make people think that they have a case, and they really get people that are supple or maybe new to the case that don't know the background information. So just like in the Watts case, they got quite the following. And these people are still on YouTube. There's some YouTube creators that were bashing Shanian left and right. I will not name them. If you guys want to name them in the chat, that's your prerogative. I'm staying clear of that. I will say the wrongdoing in YouTube, but I will not name the particular creator. It's the public that's defending her, though. Who's that, Georgie? Who's the public? Who's... Melanie G omits to say as much as she could. She also isn't specific or totally clear when she talks. Yes. Oh, thank you for saying that, Kat. Kat said, don't judge victims, even bad-mouthing young Tylee. Sick. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. Someone wrote me, and I had written that Tylee was probably disrespectful and that I honor her ability to be kind of, have the 1-2 punch in her. I don't mean that I meant that I want her to go around the world and have that 1-2 punch at every moment of her life. I meant that 1-2 punch was a survival mechanism that I believe she was given by her higher power, by someone that was protecting her way above us mortal beings. That her God, in my opinion, was saying, Tylee, you have to fight to get out of this, and I'm going to give you that strength. I think it was a built-in strength for Tylee to have that 1-2 punch. And so I mean it as when you're not loved as a mortal being, when your parents don't love you, when your parents cast you aside, and I'm not talking about Joe Ryan because he was cast aside as well as Tylee by the government, by the bureaucracy getting involved in his court cases, and taking Lori's side, or at least letting Lori have the children. As we all know, we don't have to be rocket scientists, from NASA to understand Lori should have never had those children, right? And so they took Tylee away from him. He would have been the only one to give her the love, because Lori can't give love. I'll say that again. Lori does not have the capability to love, period. And in my opinion, God or her higher being, whoever, took her and shook her up and said, you're with bad people and you're going to have to fight. So I don't see her rebellion just as adolescent rebellion. I see it as someone was trying to protect her, and that she had the might to fight back a little bit. She just didn't have it long enough to get through her path. Yes, Tylee needed to protect herself from her mother. So somewhere she was getting the oomph, the real 1-2 in her to stick up for herself. So people in her family that are submissive took that as disrespect. No, I don't take that as disrespect. I took it as she had a mechanism in her that people that are loved by their family don't need to have. If you were loved, and I'll use my granddaughter for an example. She's been through as many teenage crises as you can imagine. But all the way through those crises, she has never disrespected me or called me names or done anything. And I'm going to tell you why. My opinion is she knows I love her. And she knows I'd walk the earth to protect her. Sadly, Tylee doesn't or didn't know that. So that made her wild within herself. Yes, Tylee had such a difficult struggle. No doubt she both loved and feared her mother and wanted to save her family. And yes, especially JJ. And don't forget teenage angst. Don't forget how when you're a teenager, you're starting to find the corruption in the world. But when you find that corruption in your own family, when you find that what you thought was a family isn't true, that girl had a big, big charge to toe. That girl, you could see it in her face. Yes, Tylee was forced to care for her immature mother, see her calming Lori down at the Gilbert Police Department interview. Kobe had to too. And Sam, with that said, not only did Kobe have to parent his parents, he also had to give up his wife or his girlfriend, because when Lori walked in the room, she wanted to be his girl. Now, if that isn't incestual, nothing would ever be defined as incestual as that type of power that she wanted to have. Not only was Kobe her son, but Kobe, in her mind, was akin to her lover. And when you have that, and you can't share your lover with his girlfriend or his wife. So that's why she acted like she was Kobe's girlfriend. Kobe said it with his own mouth. If he hadn't, I wouldn't be talking about this. Kobe said that when his mother was around, she did the flirtatious thing and she came onto him like he was her boyfriend. Now tell me that isn't sick. And let's put it this way. Let's say Tylee brought home a guy friend, right? Like all teens do. How would Lori act to that guy friend? Would she be flirting with that guy friend? Would she be trying to grab the attention the guy friend gave to Tylee and put it on herself? Is this what narcissistic mothers do? I mean, I know a narcissistic mother, and I hate to say this is morbid, but would sleep with her daughter's boyfriends. Do you believe that? That's how narcissistic they are. If you bring home a boyfriend or a guy friend that's like in your high school class, the mother would sleep with them. I know someone exactly like that. So Lori, it's not a far stretch for me to understand what Colby was saying. Yeah, she would flirt. Yeah, yes, Georgie, all men's are gods to her until they're not looking at her anymore. When they don't look at her, when she's not the prime being, then she's going to work her magic to get the attention back on her. Hold on a second, okay? Answer this question. Did anyone ever see my kayak thing yesterday? I had to take them all down because what it does is it ruins my videos. If I left the kayaks up, people wouldn't understand that I did videos on this case. So I had to private them. So a lot of you messaged me and said they're private. Of course they are now, because I don't want to deter from people that just click on me for the first time. Hold on, I'll be right back. See, yeah, great. Hold on. Oh, I'm glad some of you. I haven't had a chance. I know, huh, Rachel? Rachel, don't give me away. Rachel, I was sitting here and it's so hot. Like I couldn't take it. I get headaches. I get headaches if I sit in the heat like this. Like they're a heat headache. That's what they called, heat headaches. Well, I couldn't keep those up. But I wanted to tell you, if you saw when I went into the wilderness, the pot, I was in these little canals. I was going in and out of the canals, and I went on that big river, if you saw. But when I went into the wilderness, there was this gigantic bird, and I'm going to say it was 5 to 6 feet long, the length of the bird. It flew from the ground to the sky right in front of me, but I'm not sure if it got on camera, so I'm going to look for it later today. It was only in the wilderness. Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't really swim. I just dunked. Anytime I start getting that headache, I start getting and I never get headaches. I'm not a headache person. I might give you a headache, but I'm not a headache person. Charles Vallow's ex-wife had to deal with Lori about all the kid divorce stuff. She said Lori seemed to love the court drama and even stirred it up further. Sam, I would also think, with that, what you're saying, I would also think that she would injure the children behind the scenes, as it's been purported in some of the documents, that she would emotionally, psychologically, mentally abuse the kids behind the scenes, and to rev up the attention she would get in court or other places. Hi, Melmac, thank you. She's saying, give me a thumbs up. Hey, guys, I always forget to say that. I never remember to say thumbs up, subscribe, share out, all those things everyone else rattles off their tongue. Just remember that I forget. Oh, yeah, you saw the manatee side? DJ, I did that on purpose. No, the manatee sign was in the river. So the river is right before the ocean. You know, I don't know how far the ocean is, maybe 1/8 of a mile from where I was in the river. But maybe 1/2 a mile. I'd have to really map it out to tell you. But yes, that was the sign to watch out for manatees going into the canals with the big boats. When you go into the canals, the manatees can be in there. And if you're a big boat, your boat sinks low in the canal and you could hit a manatee. So that's what that's all about, is going into the canals. Be really careful, go slow, and watch out for manatees. Now, you guys have seen dolphins come right by my house. I've never seen a manatee come by my house. Yes, she revved up the court attention. Interesting that coincidentally, Melanie Pulowski fabricated nearly identical allegations against Brandon as Lori had against Joe Ryan. Of course. Yes, Sam, very good point. They duplicate everything. It's all a master plan. If Lori does it, the chieftain, then, you know, the member will do it. The member will do it. Floating? I was floating, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I didn't cover my forearms and I got sunburnt on my forearms. You have to be completely covered here. You can't rely on sun protection. I had everything covered except my forearms. And when I say burnt, they weren't really burnt because I have Mediterranean skin, so I'm darker by nature. So I didn't get the kind of burnt that's like a lobster, but I got, for me, it was a little burn. So the next time I go, I'm going to cover everything. Yeah, they're going to, yes, Stacy, you're right on it. They're going to blame Alex Cox for all the murders. Yes, they're going to say, they're going to make up some excuse that they had nothing to do with him coming to Chad's property and placing the bodies in those most egregious ways. They're going to say they didn't have anything to do with it. But what gives Chad away is that phone call from Lori to Chad in the jailhouse when he sounded like he was dying of Lori's poison. You know, oh, Lori, they're here with search warrants for the kids. I know, the dead man out. Yeah, of course. That's where she sunk. She sunk. She would have been out with signs. If it was the other way around, Jenny, she sunk. If Alex had killed the kids and disposed of them in Chad's yard, and Chad and Lori flew off to Hawaii to have a wedding and dance on the beach and do the hula and all that kind of stuff, they would have come back once everyone else had found out that the kids were missing come the end of November, when the whole world started to, meaning the police first, then us, they would have been putting poster boards out like Kay and Larry Woodcock were. But they did everything wrong. They did everything wrong. They wouldn't talk to any reporters. They wouldn't talk to the police. When the police came upon them, it was always because the police had a warrant. Remember, they ransacked their car in Hawaii and found all of the kids' Social Security cards and birth certificates and bank accounts, bank cards, all that kind of stuff was with them. I know, huh, Kelly? Kelly says, I hope the jury gets to find out how really worried Chad and Lori were in Hawaii with those pictures and Nate's videos. Oh, yeah, they were running from Nate. That's the best thing. Where are your kids, Lori? Where are your kids? I hope Lori and Chad had their Nike sneakers on that day. You know what I mean? Because they were trying to run. I hope their feet weren't hurting. I mean, she had that little mini skirt on her. And when I was 45, 46, I could wear a mini skirt too very well. But the whole idea, she had Hawaii printed on her rear end. And it's like, you're not a teenager. And Hawaii isn't paying you ad revenue. Why do you have Hawaii printed on your rear end? Is it because she escaped the States? I mean, I'm being bratty right now. Did she escape from the States? And then she has Hawaii printed on her rear end so that it's a message to us. Hey, I did my dirty deeds and look at where I am. My rear end is in Hawaii and you guys are over in that part of the world. Yeah, what's Jenny? Yes, what's happened to the baby? What everyone's worried. Where is the baby? What is going to happen to that baby? Yours on point, Gigi. Yeah, it was an advertisement for Lori. Hawaii is mine now. This is where I've dreamed of living, and this is where I'm going to live. And it's printed on my rear end for all of you to see. Chad will throw first. I was listening to a podcast and they noticed how Chad corrected it for incorrectly pronouncing people's names except when it was Lori's. Yeah, that's true. But I think I don't agree with that podcast. I did see it. I don't agree with it because I think it's a tactic to separate the two. I think Lori and Chad had plenty of time to work on their two individual cases. You know what I mean? So I think this is worked out between Lori and Chad. I don't think it's going to be because Lori's or Chad is turning on the other. That's my idea. Because they spent all their time together. He went to that jail every day and spent hours with her. I know, Georgie, that would be good, but the system doesn't work that way. When I've worked with child abuse cases, like her case, like Melanie Pulowski's, they won't, their framework is they won't go back on other people's, other children's, like they have to take each child as a new client. And particularly where the new child has a new father. It's not the same father. They by their policy within the DHS system, they only look at that particular child and that particular, they don't let the stuff in the past come into it when it's a new case. Prosecutors can connect the dots through her complaints about zombie behavior, her lies about Kay, etc. Oh, yes. Oh, come on now. You guys all saw those FBI agents, and you know there's many more behind the scenes working on this. You know that they put in their top dogs into this case, and you be assured that every move that prosecutor is making, he's making with the help of the FBI and maybe federal marshals. You don't know how many other law enforcement entities are involved in this. I know, huh? And Sam, that's the thing. Lori's always the victim, and that's why they're full of baloney, because this new group, watch for it. You're going to see it emerge. It's emerging right now. Mark my words, within the next month, you're going to see that people are making YouTube videos on how great Lori is. Mark my words, it happened in the Chris Watts case. And these YouTubers are still on YouTube, still making videos and making oodles of money when they supported Chris Watts. Now think about the mentality there. I'm not trying to be righteous, and I don't want to lose subscribers because they think I'm trying to be righteous. But who in their right mind would support Chris Watts? He killed 4 people. He put his 2 children in oil, tanks, batteries. Right, Kelly. Chad doesn't have enough money. Yeah. Yes. And Stella says it's common practice for co-defendants to blame each other to raise reasonable doubt. And they had months. She had gotten into jail February 20, 2020. And then it took them a little bit of time from that date to get her over to the States. So from that day in Hawaii to the time she got into the States, they've been working up their defenses. You believe me not, they have been working on their defenses. Agent Daniels was amazing. I think they all did a pretty good job, Stella. I don't know about Ian Cat. I have no idea about Ian. I can't get a read on him. You would have thought he would have left her the day the kids' bodies were found, because he was the one saying, nobody's going to believe it when they're standing right in front of us. They're not going to believe that the kids are really alive. And he ate his own words. Yes. Yeah. Pro bono. And yeah, we'll be paying their defense. You're right. No, but I'm telling you, you watch, I see the undertones. Don't think of me as negative. This isn't negative talk. This is practical talk. It's talk because I'm seeing the underpinnings of emotion, I'm looking at a bug on the ground that I'm trying to discern if I like him or if he likes me. He's tending to like me. He's coming near me. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, I've been watching because I started getting comments about how egregious Charles was as a person. And once I started getting those kind of comments, I said, whoop, here we go. Watts case personified. They're going to be starting to come in, and someone like you said is going to want to make money. Now, how controversial would it be if a YouTuber opens an account or has one open and starts saying that Charles was evil. And that's what this person is saying to me. There's a couple of them that are saying to me. You can go through my last video. Go through the very last video I make and watch for some threads in there that is talking exactly what I'm telling you. Yeah. Kat, what I have understood is there's a lot of people involved because he had a lot of followers. But did they know of the murders? That's a question. Did they know of the murders? Yeah, he lost. Jen, he lost rights. Ian Pulowski lost rights to those kids right now. He can only see them in a supervisory capacity or a supervised capacity. Yeah. I wish it wasn't about the subs, Rachel, and the money. And I'm going to tell you, I tell you all this time, when someone's got oodle of subs like that, they're making oodles of money. Believe me. And if they're taking those super chats and if they're going into Patreons, all of those things, they're making oodles. So they love it. They'll tell you anything just so that money keeps. When you click on their account, they get a point for that. Yeah, Kelly says, if and when they charge murder conspiracy, their lawyers' retainer will go up tremendously. I think this is when we'll see the great divide. Chad will not do without to pay for Lori. Oh, yeah, we all know Lori will not pay for Chad. It's never been that way in her life. The money only comes to her, doesn't go out of her pocket. Yes, Sam, I'm so glad that Brandon seems like a devoted father. I hope Melanie never, and I mean never, gets any rights to those children. Where is DJ? Yes, Mountain Mama. I love that name, Mountain Mama. Greed has removed so much human decency. It's really frustrating. And you know, depending upon what age group you're in, but I grew up in the time where everyone was satisfied with one pair of play shoes, one pair of dress shoes, one pair of sneakers for a sport, and that's about it. And we didn't mind wearing the same clothes that we wore one week the next week. We didn't mind stretching the dollar. We didn't mind having used cars or cars that we just maintained. Like, we didn't buy a car every 3 to 4 years. We didn't understand glitz back then. Glitz was for the small part of the population, not for the general populace. Nowadays, everyone wants glitz. They want the nice house. They want the nice cars. They want the nice clothes. They need the best hairstyles. They need the best. I mean, kids are buying sneakers that are $1,000. $1,000 for a pair of sneakers. I know all of this from teenagers. Yeah, we didn't have any choice. But I'm not saying our generation was better growing up that way. I'm just saying it instilled value. It instilled what a dollar bill meant, what 5 cents meant at the penny store. Oh, yeah, I like this one. Sam says, it's just nuts. Lori says, in rapid succession. Kay is dark. She's threatening JJ, and maybe I can lie to Kay, feigning cancer to get her to take him. Then better kill JJ to save him. Oh, my God. You're right. She's so diabolical, Sam. So diabolical. Yes. Yes, Kat. He said if we were at varsity, that was enough. Just the esteem of going to the next step. Clothes were not a thing. We were grateful. Yes, I know kids that grew up making a peanut butter sandwich every day for lunch and having an apple. That's it. That's all they had every day to school. One peanut butter sandwich and one apple. Every day of school life. And they were happy. And they went on to do great things. Nowadays, you got to have sushi. You got to have all kinds of things that are fancy. You got to have the in Starbucks coffee that costs like $8 a cup. Arona says, can you please talk about the cab Lori phone call when Lori says, I didn't even want Alex to know. To me, it justifies she knew the kids were dead, looking back in hindsight to what we know now. Yeah, Arona, I agree with you. She's talking about the Melanie Gibbs phone call that Melanie surreptitiously recorded the message. She recorded the message with her, Lori, and Chad. And in that phone call, Lori says, I didn't even want Alex to know. But you know what's funny about that, Arona, is what didn't she want Alex to know? If he's not, do you think that Lori took Alex's phone and brought the bodies to Chad's, that it wasn't Alex? Do you think she is that sly that she wanted to implicate Alex in the murders and took the phone with him in his vehicle and did it herself? Stella, I think the kids died because if they were receiving about $6,000 a month, that paid for their just daily living for a month. Their rent, probably their cars. They were renting cars in Hawaii. Their food, whatever, $6,000. If the kids were alive, they'd have to spend some of that money on the kids. So you got to think of this as a bank account. They had $6,000 on it. If the kids were alive, they'd have to deduct so much, and they didn't want to do that. That's my opinion. Plus, Tylee must have known they murdered Charles. And then when Tylee was gone, Lori didn't want to take care of JJ. Could it be they had to be silenced for being witnesses to something? Of course, Stella, I think so. Maybe Tylee saw Charles being murdered, and then JJ was becoming too vocal, asking for him. Mm. Asking for Tylee. Yes. Where's Tylee? Where's Tylee? I think she killed him because that's what she likes to do. She was on that. She was bloodthirsty. There's probably all kinds of things in her personality. When you get the taste of killing, she was bloodthirsty. Money thirsty, we know, but she was bloodthirsty. Just like that girl here in Florida that killed all those guys that that wanted prostitutes to service him. Remember that girl? I forget her name. Lori killed JJ to get back at Kay for getting the insurance money and not her. Very good, Denise Russell. Yes. It's so complex. I don't think there's one answer, but the one answer for Tylee could be she knew Charles was murdered. That could be the answer. And that's why she ran off with Tylee after the murder so that she could make sure she programmed her well. I'm so curious on how authentically dedicated Lori and Chad were to their beliefs. Are they still, or is Jill wrong about the delusion? I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know how they ever came up with those beliefs. And okay, the world of Melanie Gibbs supporters, pardon what I'm going to say right now. But if those beliefs were so incredulous to Melanie Gibbs, if they were that incredulous, why didn't Melanie Gibbs walk away way before the murders or way before people started being missing? Yeah, well, think about it. You're right, Mountain Mama. She says most teens would be hysterical finding out their father figure of 15 years just died. She was only 16 when he died. She was only 16. So that girl knew him for all those years. All those, I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm just wondering, Rachel, why she didn't do like a deal with Kay. You know, she's always trying to deal make for money. You know, she was a good, what are they called when they're always making deals for money? I can't think of a term, but she was a good one anyway. So why didn't she make that deal for JJ for money? Because then they'd find out Tylee was missing, I bet. I bet if she tried to start doing deals after the killing of Tylee to keep Tylee's mouth shut, then they might have found out Tylee was gone. Oh, I know. Sam says she was furious that Charles had outfoxed her regarding the life insurance of $1 million. Can you imagine to go through all of that, put together a murder, have it happen? You're all walking free. None of you got arrested. And then you find out after all of that, you don't get the 1 million. She had to been climbing the walls. Yeah, all of her formative years. You're right. Poor Tylee. I think Tylee was killed because she called Chad on his BS and he didn't like her. Hence, Tylee is now dark. Yep. Oh, yeah, I can see Tylee telling him he was a freak. If that word ever had a true definition, it would be Chad. Just say Chad and you know freak. DJ says, if you receive second anointing, you are guaranteed heaven and can't sin. Top people have it. It allows criminal behavior to be blessed for the Lord. It's okay to cheat in business if you give back the money to the church. Yeah. Or to the LDS. That's what I think that's what he's trying to say. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Yeah, you guys can say it when I'm closing. You guys got a job. When I'm closing the chat, when Gram chat is ending today, you can tell people to like, subscribe, and all that stuff that I never say. That'll be nice because I never say it because I don't think of it. I know, Stella. She says, I don't think Tylee had any friends, you know, the real close friends. How else to explain no one was looking for her for all of those months? The only person that I know that was really looking for her was her brother, Kobe. He kept texting her and calling her. I sent Gram a hacked MTC training video from a few years ago. New name, Noah, did a good job. Okay. When did you send it, GJ? I'll have to look it up too, Shannon. Oh, so we were going to talk about two things. Rachel and someone else sent me about Mel Gibbs' writings. Let me go back. I'm trying to think in my mind. If I could look it up, it would be nice. But I can't look it up because I'm online. I'll put a clip. I'll put at the end when I cite the cult in Australia in the description box of this video. I'll also put the paragraph that I think shows Mel Gibb knew more than what she's letting on to. She's acting like she didn't know anything. And I think this clip with a little push from Rachel got me to understand that It's a paragraph from her letter of June 16, 2020. Remember, she wrote that anywhere from 5 to 7 pages. I'll be honest with you. I read it and I was so confused at the end. I told Rachel, I'm going to have to read this like, I don't know how many more times so I can find some clarity in it. But Rachel sent me one particular, she sent me 2 paragraphs, but she sent me one, and I read it yesterday online. But now those videos are hidden because I was kayaking. I'm going to read it again, and I'm going to type it on this description. So I'm going to leave you the Cult in Australia's website so that you can, not website, but their YouTube interview, so that you can go watch it. It's very interesting. I'm telling you, it's not going to be a boring watch at all. It really gives you an idea of these people and what they're doing. And 2, I'm going to put the clip, the paragraph from Melanie Gibbs' 5 to 7 page letter of June 16, so you guys can read that. So make sure you go back to my description once I end. It usually takes me a good half an hour. I have to wait for the video to settle. Then I can go in and put any add-ins in the descriptions. I know, Mel, it makes me angry that they're tax exempt. I believe Melanie Gibbs does know way more. I was happy she recorded the call. What she's not saying really gives a lot of red flags. I agree. Butterfly tax exempt with over 125 billion in stock holdings alone, perhaps $500 billion in property. Google, Peak Advisor, Ensign. I don't know what Ensign is, DJ. Oh, so he sent me an email 45 minutes ago. YouTube search Mormon second endowment. Anyone can put, the link won't show up. The link about the Australia, the link about the Australia cult will not show up if you add it. I don't believe. I think I took that option off, and I'm going to tell you why. Too many people were coming into my chats and my comments and putting other YouTubers' links to go to their YouTube in my YouTube, and I did it for security purposes. I do not want for you guys to be reading in my comments and they take you somewhere else, and B, it's not a good safety factor that people are putting links. So I'm not sure if you can put a link. If someone can put a link, if it does show up, so be it. Put it in with that Australia cult that resembles Chad Daybell and Lori's cult almost to a T. I'm not sure we're about murders yet, but I'm sure that they're just as crazy. Yes, it was her 7-page open letter. It was dated, this is the Melanie Gibb one. It was dated June 16th, 2020. And in it, Rachel has clipped a couple of the excerpts, their paragraphs, and I'm going to be posting one of them. I did read it yesterday, but you don't have access because I blocked my kayaking, because people, when they're looking for crime, they don't want to see someone kayaking. And my voiceover didn't come in. Lori isolated Tylee from almost everyone except Kobe stayed in touch. Yes. Look, yeah, I'm not sure if she took the phone before she was murdered, Jenny, or after Tylee was murdered. Yeah, Mountain Mama, there was that one friend that was trying to talk to her, and she couldn't talk to Tylee. She kept texting Tylee. You're right. The one friend from Arizona, I believe, or it could have been Texas. Just to let you know, DJ, talking about being hacked, yesterday when I got home from my kayaking trip, when I went out, way out in the wilderness, from my house, it was a couple of miles out, and I had to cross that big river. I have to expound on that. I have to tell you how perilous it was. It's my kind of I shouldn't be alive story. Just kidding. But anyways, when I got back from that perilous kayaking trip yesterday, there was someone hacked into my account. So I'm letting you know it is still hacked. I have been trying to read up on it. Hi, Kevin. Keep your eyes on the road. In your hands behind the wheel. That might be a song. Has anyone heard that song? Keep your eyes on the road and your hands upon the wheel. Keep your hands on the road. JW were also Jehovah Witnesses were also infiltrated by military, but don't have the cash. Mormons do. Mormons by far the richest religion in the world. 5 million active Mormons and maybe 1 trillion in assets. Lori has got horns, pure evil. Yes, Kat. With her, Chad shares horns. They pass them around. Melanie Pulowski, possibly Ian Pulowski. I've always said this. Summer Shitlift scares the heck out of me. She is so scary. It's unbelievable. You know, it's these insidious like people too. Yeah. Lauren, put your hand, wait. Keep your eyes on the road. Put your hands on the, wait, I've already forgotten it already. Let it roll, baby, roll. All night long. How you like that for singing, Lauren? Simon Cowell says, you sound like a dead cow. I love that when he says it, because it is exactly how I sound, that dead cow. But see, I've already forgotten the words. I got my eyes on the road, hands on the wheel. Let it roll, baby, roll. All night long. my granddaughter would slap me right now. Not really. If she heard me doing this, because she'd say, don't ever sing on anything. Yeah. Summer is a pure cox. Her mother Janice is also evil to the core. Thank you, Bella. How's your shoulder, Bella? Oh, Shannon was saying something about my singing and she retracted it. Rachel's clapping her hands. I don't know what for. Give faithful and obedient and set a good example to the world of what Jesus Christ can do for all of us. Give faithful and obedient and set a good example to the world of what Jesus Christ can do for all of us. For the truth will make you free. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. When I first started up exactly like 9 weeks ago, I had mentioned that I don't care if you guys talk about other creators and whatnot. But when I really started feeling the extreme thievery, and you don't know what goes on, you're only seeing from your perception, from your relative spot, but I see a lot more. And because of that, I understand that that's not a good policy to say, you know, talk about all these other creators and put their links in my. So while you're reading my comments, they put links to take you to the other people. But when we don't care about that, because you guys will always come back. So, you know, at the end of the day, we don't really care about it. But I did put something that you can't put a link. And the other part is a security thing. If you put links, Human Animal taught me that people put links in and they're pornographic, and I can get in trouble for it. I didn't even know they were pornographic because I didn't click on them. But Human Animal advised me that they're pornographic links, and that I could get in trouble by YouTube for having them there. So I had to go in and delete them. Keep your mind on your driving, keep your hands on the wheel, keep your silly eyes on the road. Ahead, we're having fun sitting in the back seat, kissing and hugging with Fred. Oh, are those your own? Are those your lyrics, Janet? Oh my God, we're having fun. I love it when we have fun chats, because I'm usually a little bit too uptight about the talk. So yes, Gram talk should be a little less uptight. Every time I hear another YouTuber talking up their Patreon or Super Chat, I hear the clink, clink, clink of coins rattling in the tin cup. Gigi put that image in my mind. Thank you. Yeah, it's so distasteful in my opinion. But that's only my opinion. Just because they do it doesn't mean it's wrong, doesn't mean it's thievery. It's just distasteful. Like in mine, if you go to my description, you'll see links into Mark S. Black. He's that blues/rock singer that makes his own songs that are beautiful. I'm going to play one at the end of this video. He's the one that has concerts on Facebook on Sundays. And he's in Ireland, so it's 5 hours, ahead of us, or ahead of Eastern Standard Time. So wherever you are, he's in Ireland. So go to his website in Ireland on Sunday and watch his live streams. I call them concerts because that's what I feel like I'm in, a concert. And you will see a fabulous player, singer. He has a crooning voice, sort of kind of in between. He kind of reminds me of Jimmy Morrison / Jack Bruce / Michael Hutchence. And I hate to throw Michael Hutchence in there, but the one thing Michael Hutchence did have was a fabulous voice. This guy has a fabulous voice, and you got to hear him. And his links are on my description page. And if you ever have the inkling to donate or buy merchandise, or go to my page, click on his pages, and you can donate to him, because he donates his music to me through Kevin Whalen. Kevin Whalen is the one that turned me on to him. Mark and I have been doing light chatting through email, and he's quite the guy, believe me. And heck with what kind of guy he is. He has a beautiful voice, and he makes beautiful music, whether it's his own music or a cover. So there's his plug. Good morning, Venus rising. Yes, Venus has risen. The veil has opened. Only the good ones go through. I'm being sarcastic. And I have said before, $100 for a comment that will be read out as quick as a fart in the wind. I love that, fart in the wind. Oh my God. Okay, let me continue reading. My eyes got tears in them. I can't see right yet. Okay, let me read it again. And as I have said before, $100 for a comment that will be read out as quick as a fart in the wind. I don't have that type of money, so maybe that's why I don't understand people doing that. You know what's not funny about it is most people that do it don't have the money either, Rachel. They're only trying to show allegiance to the YouTuber. And that's a sad commentary, because that's one thing I never know. When I used to work with the homeless way back when, the thing that they would do is, like, if I came upon their campsite, like, let's say I was walking down a trail alongside a riverbank, and I came upon like a shanty. A lot of times they look like a Gilligan Island's hut that they would make on Gilligan's Island, right? So I'd come upon a shanty and I'd meet someone, and they would invite me for dinner or lunch. And their dinner or lunch was sitting on the ground over a campfire, peppering up a old steak that they've had not refrigerated, and they would offer me that. Now, because I had all my shots, like hepatitis A, B, whatever, all the shots because when you do outreach like that, you have to have every shot under the world for inoculation. So when I used to go there, I would say to myself, yes, I'm really a food, like preparation of food has to be done in a really clean environment, just because my grandfather owned restaurants, and that's what I was taught, that you keep your foods. But so I'd have to eat steaks, and I mean, like a $2 steak. I'm not talking a filet mignon from Omaha Steaks or something like that. I'm talking, something that was 2 days old in the supermarket. But I'd have to eat that steak with them. And what got me on this subject of eating steaks, I'll never know. Oh, nice. I work for a homeless charity. Very nice, Rachel. So you know what I'm talking about. You have to do as they do to show them that they are just as worthy, just as notable as you or anyone else in the world. You can't, one of my outreach work is, meaning a woman that would outreach with me, I would get angry. And you're going to think this is maybe not right, but I would get angry because she'd wear diamonds. And I'd say to her, you're showing them that diamond ring could buy them maybe a year's worth of food and 5 years worth of food. Here they are starving on the street, and you're coming up to their house, which is a shack, which is a tent, which is a shanty. Sometimes I'd find people, especially Vietnam vets, they would dig a hole into the ground or into the snow, either one, and they would lay in that hole. So I would find them in tubes, like in those big sewer pipes that are for sewage drainage. They would be living in those pipes. They'd be living under the bridges. They'd be living in tents on top of the snow. And here she would walk alongside me with all of her diamonds on. I wasn't worried about the safety part of it because I knew these people. But I was worried about her being able to really connect with them on their level. Yes, Sam, $10 is over the top. I have donated twice on, what is it, Super Chat? I have donated twice. He's a developmentally disabled young man who broadcasts sports. So when the sport is not allowed on YouTube, he will do the broadcasting sort of like a DJ does on the radio. So I'll go to his channel and I will donate to him because he's providing a real service, and it is his livelihood. Oh, great idea, Venus. Sending gifts homemade. Haha. I'll borrow your idea, a GoFundMe for me to contribute. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Oh, let's do that, guys. Let's make a GoFundMe account. Okay. And it'll be called the YouTubers Slush Fund, something like that. So every time you want the royalty in YouTube to answer a question that you might have, you can take from the slush fund and pay the YouTuber. There's a lot of people that have been in my channel that work for I've had people that work for homeless. I've had people working in the court systems. I've had people working for charities. A lot of people have been on the boards of charities, and they have seen the corruption in some of these places. So they can identify with what some of the stuff I talk about. Yeah. No, can I ask from you guys, what is the Patreon? What does the Patreon give you? Good morning, Stephanie. Welcome, welcome. So glad all of you are here. Yes, you didn't have to. I don't have my tin can out. Sorry. I forgot to put it out today. Just kidding. Oh, yes, Venus. There's a couple here by me. And my granddaughter and I, when we go shopping, because of COVID, we don't do too much, right? She sits in the car. She doesn't come in the grocery store with me because she's young and she's in that age bracket that can get COVID really bad. I'm in the age bracket too, but I'm much more able to protect myself. You know, I do everything precisely when I'm out to keep myself safe. I have the N95s. I have gloves on. I change my clothes when I get home. Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, and that's what I suggest all of you. That's a good mention, Jenny. Donate directly. And I'll say that again. Donate directly. Give it. If you want to give a homeless person something, give it to them directly. I used to fill a sack and walk down the riverside and donate whatever I had in that sack, whether it was blankets, whether it was foods, whether it was clothing, whether it was personal care items. I always gave them, oh, this is a good thing. If you want to keep in your car I used to keep in my car a sack filled with personal care items, meaning toothpaste, toothbrushes, shampoos, moisturizers, suntan lotion, all that stuff. And so when you come upon them, you have it ready. So you can give them all the personal care items to keep up. And keep gallon jugs. To give them like a half gallon so it's not too heavy is a better idea. But if you keep jugs of water in your car too, like if you don't have a passenger most of the time in your passenger seat, you can fill that passenger seat up with goods, and you can put it in like a crate so that those goods are put in a crate, and you can have them readily available. And then if you do get a passenger, you can put it in your boot or your trunk or your back seat or whatever you might have. Yeah, but what's the difference, DJ, from me going into a Patreon than me talking right now? What do they get? What do the YouTube subscribers get for that money? There is one researcher who publishes 10-minute previews of his episodes on YouTube. Patreon has full 45 to troll negativity. I don't blame him. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I like that. Give in your neighborhoods. That does better than if you give to some arbitrary place. When I'm not going to name the association, but I used to get calls from a certain association, and I asked them, I'm not going to donate to you unless you tell me what the admin is. They told me 84% goes to admin, 16% goes to the person in need. 16%. So if I gave them $100, how much would that be? Went to them, and how much would go to the person in need? I wonder how much Lori donated to get back on the track. We're off track now. We're on, but I guess it isn't off track. My theory is it's all a bunch of malaka, or I gotta say it right. Someone corrected me. They said I'm saying it in the male terms. So maybe all my male relatives said malaka, and that's where I picked it up. I guess I'm supposed to be saying malaki. Malaki. It's a bunch of malaki because I'm female. So you know what that stands for. Oh, wow. Venus says she follows 200 channels or so. She'd have to give away a lot of money. Yeah. I'd rather go in. I've done this before. I go into Publix. That's what we have near my house, is a Publix grocery store, and I'll buy them a sandwich. I'll give them drinks. I'll give them anything. If they tell me what they want, I'll go in and buy it for them. So guys, with that said, we've talked about, I think the video came out in 2017 about this cult leader in Australia that I'm going to link at the end of this video. I think I said Williams, but his name might be Mitchell. I might have the last name wrong. I'm going to link that I'm going to tell you that my YouTube channel got hacked when I went kayaking yesterday. Again, they go in and they put in their variables. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. It might be hacked when I end the session. You know, they could have people in there blocking people. They could have people in there saying things for me that aren't true. They could, I don't know what, there's so many possibilities when they get access to your account, what they can do. I don't know if you guys are here. Can someone let me know if you're here? I can't see you. Is it my phone again too hot? I don't see anyone. So we've talked about a lot of things this morning. I think I'm going to end the chat in a few minutes. But in the meantime, think about this new stuff that I've noticed that's going on. One, that there's going to be forming some Lori Vallow victim YouTubers are going to be made up in the near future. They were in the Watts case, and some of them are still here. I don't know why I can't see you. Yes, it's always a pleasure, too, to have you guys. I am so lucky that I have a following of people that want to listen to my kind of off-the-cuff rambling, because I don't do it as some people do. I don't take the information and formulate it like it's news. I do it from my perspective. And that might be because I'm older. I don't know. Or that might be because I have my own opinions and always have had my own opinions. Malakis. Yes, yeah. So I got brought up with Malaka, but that's because the men in my family said Malaka. But this person said, no, you're saying Malaka wrong. You're a female. You need to say Malaki. So I'm not saying Malaki to you guys. I'm just saying Malaki to all the Malaki on YouTube. You know. So now, with that said, I'm going to play you a beautiful song. And it's by Mark S. Black. You know, I pumped and pumped for you to go to his channel because he's a blues singer. He's gritty. And he does rock and roll phenomenally. Kevin Whalen is the one that sent me to him. And I want you guys to really recognize how great of a musician. Now, this is just me. No one has tried to tell me he's great. I think he's great. You know, I think he's a great musician. He's from Ireland. If you love those Irish accents, he has that deep Irish accent. And he doesn't have it in his songs. Like I said before, he kind of sounds like Jimmy Morrison, maybe a little bit of Jack Bruce, maybe a little bit of Michael Hutchence. He's kind of got his own thing going on. So now I'm going to try to call up one of his songs that is not bluesy. Now, I love blues. This one isn't blues. Oh, no, I probably should do this one. Okay, I'm going to play you a different song I think it's called Sunday by Mark Black. And it's because this was supposed to happen Sunday and it didn't. And here it goes. You guys are wonderful. Have a beautiful day and watch out for all the ugly. You know, there's a lot of ugly, just not Lori Vallow. Just not Chad Daybell.
Feeling good about the sound of it. Seeking to find a merry-go-round.
Love you all.
Hear the music. All the times you can't turn it down. Sometimes you're gonna build it up. Sometimes you're gonna tear it down. Sometimes we never really care which way the sun goes, up or down. Sing it out when you're driving to work. Lay it down, four on the floor when the weekend comes. Ready to go. Saturday nights for hitting the wall. Sunday's a day for playing the blues. And Monday's a day to start over. One day I'll be on the winning streak. Wanna live close to the ocean. Ride a horse up and down the beach. And watch the sun go down over the water. Till that day then you're satisfied. The grind of life's suicide. Never use a fork to stop the tide. The words can't mend more than time divide. Sing it out when you're driving to work. You lay it down, four on the floor when the weekend comes. You're ready to go. Saturday nights for hitting the wall. Sunday's a day for playing the blues. And Monday's a day to start over. Yeah, and Sunday's a day for playing the blues. And Monday's a day to start over. The time doesn't wait through day and night. The sun goes up, the moon at night. The road won't end or let you down. Another night in another town. Hey. You sing it out when you're driving to work. You lay it down, four on the floor, and when the weekend comes, you're ready to go. Saturday nights for hitting the wall. Sunday's a day for playing the blues. And Monday's a day to start over. Yeah, and Sunday's a day for playing the blues. And Monday's a day to start over. Yeah, and Sunday's a day for playing the blues. Hey, and Monday's a day to start over. Yeah, and Sunday's a day for playing the blues. Hey, and Monday's a day to start over. Hey. from hell, blue skies from pale. Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail? A smile from a veil. Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for gold? Hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change. Did you exchange a walk-on part in a war for a lead role in King? How I wish you were here, 'cause we're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. Have we found the same old feeling? I wish you were here. Living on the edge. to go. Leave without a trace. You treat me so well, baby. All I have is all I want. You treat me so well, baby. All I have is all I want. And forgive me when I go, 'cause I've got rambling on my mind. I've got rambling on my mind. I've got rambling on my mind. I've got rambling on. Will you take good care? Yeah, will you take good care of mine? Will you take good care of mine? Will you take good care? Will you take good care of mine? Will you take good care of mine? And please forgive me when I go, 'cause I've got rambling on my mind. I've got rambling on my mind. I've got rambling on my mind. I've got rambling on. seem the same. Acting funny, but I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Purple haze all around. Don't know if I'm coming up or down. Am I happy or in misery? Whatever it is, that girl put a spell on me. Just the end of time. advising me to stop. The waves are high, the boat's been rocked. I've been hiding, but I've been caught. Now it looks like there's no way out. And I wonder what else is out there. It's not time to look behind. 'Cause every time I look inside, there's ghosts in the fire, ghosts in the fire. Every time I look inside, there's ghosts in the fire, ghosts in the fire. Every time I look inside, there's ghosts in the fire, ghosts in the fire. Every time I look inside, there's ghosts in the fire, ghosts in the fire. Every time I look inside, there's ghosts in the fire, ghosts in the fire.